So today we're just going to be looking at an editing technique called Tesselation, which creates abstract images. You can use any image for this, whether it be a portrait, an object, a landscape. I find it works better if you use a landscape. I think the outcomes are much more interesting. And a little bit like when we did the typography the other week, I'm going to suggest that at least in the short term you start off by when you first crop your image, cropping it square. It'll make the learning process a lot easier, although once you get used to it, this can be done with any shaped image. So I'm simply going to start off by cropping my image. So I'm going to use my crop tool, I'm going to set it to square, and I'm going to crop my image to a square of my choosing. Because we're trying to create an abstract image here, you tend to find that the outcome works better if, rather than simply crop a square from your image, you actually try and get a little bit creative with your crop as well. So I'm going to start off by doing a diagonal crop, so that I've got the horizon line, if you like, going from corner to corner. Press OK, and then I've got a square. I'm also going to make this process easier by making the square a nice, easily manageable set of dimensions. So rather than have it, 17.6 centimeters or whatever it might be, I'm going to make it a nice round figure. So I'm going to do that by going image, image size, and in this instance I'm just going to change it to 10 centimeters square. And I'm also going to pay particular attention to the resolution. So you can see here it's 72 pixels per inch. And I press OK, and there's my square. The next job is to create a new canvas that I can put 4 of these squares on in a grid. That means my new canvas needs to be big enough to take 4 of these. So a little bit of basic maths, and that's why I've made the dimensions easy to work with. So I'm going to go File, New, just use the bell for a minute. To put 4 of these on, I need a canvas that is 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters, and I want to make sure my resolution is the same as the original image, which is 72 pixels per inch. And I press create, and there's my new canvas. To put 4 of these onto here, I could simply use my move tool and drag them across 4 times, or I could go select, all, edit, copy, and then on here I could paste it 4 times, and if you look down where your layers are, you can see I've now got 4 layers. It doesn't look like it on screen, and that's because the layers have all been sort of placed neatly on top of each other. So my first job is to move each of the layers into position. So layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and finally layer 4. I'm going to start off, I'm going to leave layer 1 as it is, but with layer 2 I want to flip this over so that it mirrors the image to its left. So I'm going to do that by highlighting the layer. I go edit, transform, flip horizontal. The bottom layers I need to flip vertically. So if this one's horizontal, these 2 need to be done vertically, and the easiest way to do that is to highlight both layers at the same time, go in, edit, transform, flip vertically, and then one of them, which in this case is layer 3, also needs to be done horizontally. And there what I have then is my tessellated image. If I've not quite lined it up, I might want to just move them across ever so slightly. Sometimes what you find is it looks like there's a white line there, but when you zoom in, that white line sometimes disappears. In this instance, you can see that there is actually a gap. So I just need to move them across ever so slightly, like so. And then what I've got is my tessellated image.